how badly do you actually want to make the NHL? And I want to ask you this for real, because I hear so many hockey players say this, and I was one of them, who would say, man, I just want to make the NHL so bad. I just wish that this part of my life was like this. I just wish this was lined up. And I would hear this endlessly. And what I need you to realize is that you're not being truthful to yourself right now. You're telling yourself you want something, which is awesome. And it's great that you're saying that. It's great that you're even telling other people, or you're saying it internally. But what I want to help you do is help you remove what is called cognitive dissonance. And basically this is like trying to justify why something like isn't the way it is. And so I want to explain this to you because you probably have this happening, and I want to help you to realize that you need to shift either what you're really saying to yourself in terms of maybe you don't actually want to make it to that level, or I want you to bring you into reality of what it really takes and what you're going to need to do to actually make it there. Because you got to realize, look, like everybody who starts playing hockey says they want to play in the NHL, and they wish if they could just teleport there, they would. But it takes something else, and it shows how badly someone wants something when they don't do what's required. And so here's the thing. So let's say, and I'll draw this on the screen here so you have like a little bit of a visual here. But let's say, in this case, let me do this, right? So let's say if I draw this, I don't know if it'll let me draw on the screen here. Maybe it doesn't let me draw. It won't let me draw. But regardless, well, actually I can do this for a second. So what you want to realize is that you have like a path that you want to walk on. So let's say you're here, or let's say you're here, and you want to end up over here at this like NHL level, right? So I'll hear so many people tell me this, is they're like, man, I just want to make it here. And this is the path, or let's say, this is the path, and there's a bunch of deviations that are required. You got to work your way there. Most people don't even realize that it isn't just a straight path. But the other thing to realize here is, look, like what happens is people will start doing this, and they'll just walk here, or they'll be going this direction, and then all of a sudden they deviate off the path, and then they'll keep saying, they'll just talk louder and louder and be like, no, man, I'm going to do it. I'm going to make it. I can do it. And here's the thing. You're saying you're headed this direction, but in reality, you're not going that direction. So it's like, you got to be real with yourself and really acknowledge, like, am I actually going all in with this, or am I not? And you got to be clear with yourself if this is what you want or not. And if you don't really want it, then you don't want it, and that's okay. But what's going to cause you, and the reason I say this is because it's going to cause you pain, actual emotional, true, deep pain, if you keep saying you want to be here, but you're walking in the opposite direction, or you're even backtracking, and then you keep saying, like, man, I want to do it. And then there comes a point in people's careers where they finally stop doing it. They finally realize, oh, man, like, I guess I don't have a chance. But the thing is that only comes because you didn't stick with it long enough to actually truly see what was possible. You walked this path for long enough, and you ended up so far away that finally you realize, like, this path is probably not going to happen. So now are you kind of seeing what I'm saying is that the pain comes from identifying this gap and realizing, oh, wow, like I am way further away than I say I am and that I want to be. You see what I'm saying? So this should bring you into reality a little bit here and have you realize that, look, I'm not trying to just shred you here and just make you feel terrible. I want to wake you up to what is possible within you. I want you to realize that you are walking away from the path. You are not walking towards the thing that you really want. And it's completely fine. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but what I'm saying is that if the rules that you have determined is you want to play at an NHL level, you need to realize you must maximize your abilities in order to do that. So this is why I say, change the goal away from trying to make the NHL and shift it to reaching your potential. Because your potential is your best shot at making the NHL. It's your best shot at figuring out, okay, I want to be the best I can be. how can I be the best I can be? And then understand maybe you need to craft your game as you move up the levels. You basically always will. You have to learn how to adapt yourself for going from minor to junior is a shift. Going from junior to college is a shift. Going from college to pro is a shift. Moving up different levels within pro is a shift you must go through. That's why we call ourselves identity shift, because you have to learn how to make these adjustments and figure out your game as you go along. But what I'm really trying to get at here is that you are not really doing everything you can right now. And you're oftentimes you're walking the path and walking away from where you need to go. And that is going to cause you so much pain in the long run, because you're not just addressing the fact that, look, like, I'm not in integrity. And when I say integrity, think of like a car. A car being in integrity is that it drives properly. But if your wheel falls off and you're just grinding the rim on the ground, this is what you're like when this tire, the rim like grinding on the ground, sparking up, is the same thing as when you're walking way off the path you need to walk to be great and saying, man, no, everything's fine. I know I'm going to make the NHL one day. I can just do all these things and drink 3 times a week, and I can slack off at this thing, and I can do this and do that. No, you can't. So you got to realize, and I talked about this in a previous video, is you are not doing everything you need to do. You must understand that there are so many things you can work on. And I have a previous video. If you go back to my channel and look at all the things, there's a video called the 25 skills you must learn to play pro, or you must master to play pro. There are so many things you can work on. But just to give you an idea of it, think about it even like this, just the 3 general buckets that you could be working on. And realize that, like, if you work on these over time, they all build on each other. But whatever the weakest one of the 3 is will cap you eventually. And I'm telling you for real, this will happen. I've had it happen to me. I've watched it happen to every single player. And what these 3 buckets are, or these 3 abilities or pillars are of your game, are your mind, your body, and your skill. So what I mean by this is your mind, as in your focus, your confidence, your IQ, your mindset, and your approach to like your skill development overall. How you choose to work and spend your time, and your overall lifestyle. Then you have the body. So this is the physical machine that carries out the actions. Are you sleeping well enough? Are you eating well enough? How is your physical training? Do you have a speed program? Are you getting stronger, more powerful, like more muscular if you need muscle to protect yourself? Are you preventing injuries through building up the proper flexibility and things like that? Do you have a breath system so that you breathe and recover properly? Do you have all of these tools? How's your cardio in general? What are you doing for your cardio? Do you have that built in properly? Are you correcting imbalances within the body? Are you building proper balance in and of itself? How are you becoming more athletic? These are questions that most people don't even think to ask themselves. And it's like, okay, so how are you going to get better? How are you going to beat other players who are also doing this? You will get crushed by literally my clients, guys who are committed to this and doing this for 5-10 years. You will not touch these players when it comes to a 10-year window. Sure, you may beat somebody if you only do this for a little while, but in a 10-year span of someone getting 5-10% better than you or 20% better than you every single year, you may be close after the first year, but I'm promising you, you will not even touch that person in 10 years. This is why you'll have buddies who play at the same level one year, and then 5-10 years from now, they're in the NHL or at a high level, and you were close to the same skill. It's because they just kept getting better and kept developing, and they figured out what these tools were they needed, and you didn't find out those tools. Now, there could be other factors, but that's kind of the core thing. And finally, here's the last piece, so we have mind, body, and skill. Skill is the one that everybody thinks about. Everybody thinks about skill, and they're like, okay, I'll work on my skating, shooting, stick handling, obviously like passing, you have like battling and hitting. But then you also have offensive tactics, defensive tactics, understanding team systems is kind of like what encapsulates those 2 things. You have like goal scoring, you have like general defending, right? So you have all these components of skill. And the question is like, are you working on all of them? And are you doing video research into each of these? Do you have like a detailed notebook or like notebook type system? We have like the training hub that we use with our players. And this is like a really detailed document that allows them to track like pretty much everything. Like they can track like their sleep, their nutrition, their physical training, their mental training, but then they can also research and build up a huge stack of information and tools that they can pull out and build from. So it gives them a structure of how to go research this stuff. So this is what I would encourage you to realize is that, look, like, so within skill, you can also go hire a coach. You can work with an online coach, an in-person coach. You can look for people who can help you with all these things. You can also get a development coach who can help you actually properly develop overall. You can do so much. But what drives me nuts is that I'll have players DM me and say, man, what do I do? And I get it. I understand. I was not wanting to spend money. I was not wanting to invest in things before. But if you really want to go somewhere with your career, you have to be willing to, and I learned this with business as well, is like you have to spend money to make money. You have to expend energy to get energy back, right? You have to do a workout to build up your energy systems. You have to work on your skills and put in time, money, energy to get better at your skills. You have to put energy into your focus, your confidence, your IQ, your mindset in order to get the payoff. You must invest in yourself. You must invest in yourself consistently every single day and look at everything as an investment. Your body, look at your career as an investment vehicle. You are as good as you say you are in the long run if you do the actions that are required. But you must take all three of those buckets seriously. You must viciously attack every single one of the subcomponents of those buckets. And you must not accept where you are. Your whole career, you have to keep searching for what is going to make you different, what is going to make you better, and have the next level mindset. Have the mindset that the next level is always right there and there's something more I could find. There's another level and another level and another level. The levels never end. Your potential is not just some point that you hit and you never excel past it. There is so much you can keep improving on, because when your body caps out, your mind can be expanded. When your mind starts to cap out, which obviously never happens, but like you could work on your skills cap out, you can work on your body. You have limited time. That's why what makes this game interesting is that you only have so much time in your hockey career. You really only have truly as a hockey player from the time you're 15 to the time you're kind of like 20-ish, 25, I would say max, to establish you have about 10 years from like 15 to 25 to take the game seriously and to really go all in. And this can be fun, and this can be an exciting process like we talk about in all of our programs, but you have to build this whole gamification approach to your career and see it as a constant leveling up process. And you're kind of slaying the dragons at every single level. You're pushing yourself and finding those new things. But you got to start getting obsessed with the path you're walking. And you got to get obsessed with how can I keep walking forward. And when something stops me, whatever that obstacle is, look at that as an opportunity to get better. If, a log is in the way, you don't complain and turn around and go back. You figure out how to get over that log. If there's a mountain in the way, you climb over the mountain. You keep walking forward. You keep pushing and keep finding new levels to your game and play the game the way you want to play it. Pursue your potential and never actually quit on this until you decide, well, there's something else I want to do more. But if hockey's the thing you want to do the most, this is your opportunity to truly go all in with it. So send this to somebody who needs to hear it. This is kind of like a pep talk, but more this is a honest conversation about how seriously you really want this. And if you do really want this, it's time to stop having that cognitive dissonance and trying to justify why you don't do things, and instead start actually taking action and doing the things you know you need to do. You can do it. It's unacceptable to accept anything less from yourself because you are worth it. You do deserve to have success, but you must actually do the actions required both mentally, physically, and skill-wise to earn the opportunities, because the world is like business. The hockey world is like a business, and you will get what you deserve in hockey. I know people say it's politics, there's all these things, but if you're good enough, it will replace and it will trump everything else. It will allow you to overcome all the other obstacles. If you're great in this hockey world and you market yourself well, you will get there. And if you want my help, if you want to work with me personally or work in one of my programs, and you want to get help to develop this approach and have systems and help you optimize everything, feel free to go on my website, courseinsurals.com. There'll be a way to link or click the link below and check this out. And there is a way that you can get better. I promise you. And I can't allow another person to accept mediocrity. I cannot. I'm letting myself down if I don't communicate this clearly to you, that you are better than what you're letting yourself on to be, and you have way more in the tank. So please believe in yourself. Please take this on in your career, or please stop doing this. Just say you want to play hockey for fun and that's it. But you will lose your mind and you will become very depressed if you're a driven person and you're not doing everything you can do. So again, if you want support with actually knowing how to do all these things, you can go on the internet, you can start searching it up. You can also save 10, 20 years of research and just buy a program from me or from someone else. I have a free program you can start right away that has the core 80-20 of everything that I've learned over the past 20 years of playing. And I just hope that you guys can really be proud of your careers when you step out of it. Because to be honest, I have regrets, and I wish I had been able to get more clear on some of these things, but I will not allow myself to have regrets about you guys pursuing your potential. And I want to communicate what is possible for you. It's possible for you to play at a higher level, and you can play at a high level pro. I'm not going to guarantee any specific thing, but if you pursue your potential and you push yourself forward and you truly have that delusional belief in yourself that you can be greater than you believe or than anyone else believes, you'll find a new potential. You'll find a new level in you. So pursue it. Keep going towards the next level. I'll stop rambling now, and I hope you have a great day, great week, great month, great year, a great life, and I will talk to you guys very, very soon. I appreciate you.